and welcome to Moms on Mics. I'm Joanne.
I'm Cash.
And I'm Sophia.
This episode, we are talking about getting your pre-baby body back. So I will say a little disclaimer, we are not experts. We're not nutritionists. This is all based on research and for me personally, for years of experience. So I used to be a fitness trainer 26 years ago. I've played competitive soccer. I've run a marathon. I've done multiple half marathons. I've always done sports. So I have a lot of my own knowledge that I've learned throughout the years working on stuff like that. So this is where my knowledge comes in, but we are not experts. So take this information and feel free to do your own research, whatever you'd like to do. Okay, so getting your pre-baby body back, and this is something that we have all dreamt about at some point. The young, firm-skinned, the unstretched stomach, the low weight on the scale. Everyone's bodies are totally different before they had babies, and they're completely different again after. But for some of us long for our bodies to return to our pre-baby state, especially me, seeing as I had my first when I was 17, so I would love my 16-year-old body back. And we work for it, exercising until we can barely walk, following every fad diet, starving and depriving ourselves, yet for the vast majority of us, we will never see that body again.
Women's bodies are truly phenomenal. We grow a whole human inside of us. Think about that for a minute, which I don't think enough people think about that, how amazing our body is. Like, it doesn't stop, it doesn't sleep.
Yeah, a whole human.
Yeah.
Just inside our tummies.
And I say it's crazy because, like, you hold them too, and you're like, how did this fit in here?
Right?
We have our periods bleeding every month in preparation for the big day when a man impregnates us. Then we grow something inside from something so small we can't see it with our own eyes for 9 months until finally a whole person is ready. Then we have the task of giving birth to that whole baby. Giving birth in itself is incredible. Whether you do it naturally or via C-section, either way is incredible. Then, if it's not enough, our bodies then produce the very thing required to feed the baby, all the while continuing to do all the things necessary to keep ourselves alive.
Yet, for some reason, all of that phenomena is overlooked shortly after the miracle of life has taken place, and the idea of bouncing back is planted. Why is that? Why is the miracle we've just performed not enough? Society, along with ourselves, creates this unbelievable pressure to get back to pre-baby weight and size. Social media is flooded with fitness instructors, influencers, and celebrities telling us what we should look like, how long we should take to get back to our pre-baby body when realistically we never will. And it's not for the lack of trying. It simply isn't possible. Could we reach the same number on the scale? Of course. But in order to do that, we have to manage our calories and work out, which I hate. But if you didn't do that prior to the baby coming, will mean your body will look different when you reach that number. You may have stretch marks, your feet may be 1 to 1.5 sizes bigger, your hips wider, your fingers may be more flexible, your hair thicker. There are some physical changes that will never return to the way they were before. And that's okay. You're a mom now. You're not the same as you were before. So scrap the idea that you will ever get your pre-baby body back. Accept that it will never happen and move on. You're now creating your new body. That's the first step to moving on. Step 2, decide what it is exactly that you want to achieve. What do you want your new body to look like, to be able to do? Step 3, make a plan. Now, obviously, this is easier said than done, and there is a lot of information out there. How do you know what is right and what is going to work?
I honestly think that's the biggest thing that we need to do is just scrap the idea you're never getting that pre-baby body back. Like, very few people genuinely do. Something is always going to be different, and the only way to get them back exactly the way as before is with surgery. And even then, as somebody who's had surgery, I've had a tummy tuck and muscle repair myself. It still isn't back to the way it was before because I was 16.
I know a few girls who look even better now after babies.
Exactly. And it's totally possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's totally possible to get better. But even those, like, I know women that, like, they left the hospital and I'm like, did you even have a baby? Like, what is going on there? But their hips were still slightly wider. There's always something that is just like it's never exactly the same as before. Just like our bodies are not the same as they were 5 years ago, 10 years ago. As we age, we change.
Yeah.
As we have babies, things change. So you could look physically, you could look way better than you did before, but your body is still not exactly the same.
Yeah.
So we need to get that out of our heads. I think too many women put that pressure on themselves to get back to what they looked like before.
I think society plays a huge role in it, though.
Oh, 100%.
Every ad you see or every page you see, something is due about, oh, well, take this and you'll look like this again.
Yeah. There is not a drink or a pill or anything out there that will work to get you back into, like, to slim you down and still be healthy. There just isn't. Do you remember years ago there was those shakes? It was a huge MLM. I can't remember what they were called, but there was
Did it
this.
start with a V?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everybody was into these shakes, and it was like you have one for breakfast, you have one for lunch, and then you have like your rice and chicken for dinner and stuff. It doesn't work. People will say, it worked for me, it worked great, I lost all this weight. Yeah, now you're back where you were before. So it didn't work. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, you just need to learn how to eat healthy, right? You have to like micromanage your meals, basically.
Yeah.
You don't overeat, you have smaller portions and just healthier food choices, right?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's really all it takes because I've done it twice
Yeah,
and I didn't even work out. I just changed the whole way I looked at food
yeah.
and how I ate it, and I had zero issues losing weight. Now I can't do that because I'm just like a part of me just doesn't give a fuck anymore.
That's
But
just it, right? You
I'm
have
just like I care. I do care, and I think about it often because since COVID, I gained like 50 pounds, right? And I do care and I do think about it, but I'm just like I just can't be bothered right now.
Yeah,
I'm hungry all the time and I'm starving and I just want to eat what I want to eat.
it's definitely got to be the right time. Timing
Yeah.
is everything, just like with
Yeah.
everything in life, right?
Yeah.
If you're not into it at that moment, you're
Yeah,
not going to change it.
No. And I work so much. And
Yeah,
I'm just so tired and I just want to grab what's quick. And when I'm,
yeah,
sometimes it's the best. I don't have time to fry up a chicken and make some broccoli for lunch. I just don't.
yeah.
So make a
No
sandwich.
judgments here. I had a bowl of Golden Grams for dinner tonight, so
Yeah.
Have you seen the show on Netflix about The Biggest Loser?
yes,
About how a lot of them have like lost all that weight because they just fed them the pills and all that, and now they gained it all back, a lot of them.
yeah,
Yeah, that's why you just have to learn how to eat, right? Not
Yeah.
take pills and shakes and this and that. Just
yeah. It does
Yep.
not work.
you have to learn how to eat properly. It's what it all comes down to.
Yeah,
And you don't want to drop it too fast because
No.
you're not learning how to maintain it.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So let's break it down even further. Step 1 is simple. You can do that. Step 2, however, you may need a little more help. Try writing down what it was about your pre-baby body that you liked so much. What parts do you actually have control over and can do something about it? Step 3 is where it usually goes wrong. How do you know what is going to work for you? First, you have to know and accept that this will take time. Dedication and hard work. It will not happen overnight. You have to be honest with yourself throughout the whole process. Start by ignoring all the diet pills, shakes, Ozempic type bullshit there is. You know the old saying, if something seems too good to be true, then it probably is. This applies so much here that as if the saying was made specifically for diet and weight loss. Anything that promises a quick fix with minimal effort is complete bullshit, including the copious amount of fitness influencers, especially the young ones with perfect bodies and tiny outfits, that start off by saying how much they eat and how little they work out. They get paid to work out. All of them do. Most have great bodies, thanks largely in part to the great genetics. They have never had kids. And if they have, revert back to the genetic and the fact they get paid to work out. That is their job, so they do it all day. Just think how great we would all look if we got paid to work out all day long.
Yeah, those influencers, man, they piss me off so much. Like, especially the young ones. And I mean, they mean well, and it's their job. I totally get that. But the amount of women that fall for that shit, like, you don't even have to work out. You just have to eat this. You don't have to, like, no, you have good genetics, but you're gonna look like that because of your genes. That's all. And that's fine. That's good for you. You are totally lucky, but don't try telling other people that they can get that too, because it's like, Cash, you're a lot taller than I am, right? If you were
Yeah.
to say, all you got to do is more stretches and you can get this height too. That's not true, right? Like, that's just not going to work. So, for some people, they don't have the same frame, they don't have the same body shape. So, they're not going to be that tiny little stick figure of an influencer that says, they just eat chicken and rice 3 meals a day and then they look like that. Ta-da! That's not true. We're not all going to get that same body. We just won't.
Well, and genetics is huge because, like, look at my family. It's normal for us to all be obese. So it's expected that maybe I won't be obese, but I will be on the heavier side.
Right? My family, we have wicked stretch marks. Like I had a tummy tuck, so they cut off like half my stomach and then pulled it down. And it should have got rid of all my stretch marks. Well, it didn't because my entire torso was stretch marks. So there was no way to get rid of it. And that's just part of my genetics that I'm always going to have stretch marks regardless. Some people, they have babies and their bodies or their stomachs are like, they look perfect again, like with no stretch marks, no nothing. And I'm like, oh, you're so lucky. I wish I had that.
See, stretch marks don't bother me actually. I don't mind them, but I've had them since I was a teenager. So, and I was like 90 pounds wet as a teenager.
Yeah.
You just grew really fast. That's why, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Probably
Like I'm
just
not an
grew.
average height for a
Yeah.
female.
So you grew really fast. So like my son, he's 6 feet tall and he just turned 16. He grew really fast. So he has stretch marks.
Yeah.
So yeah, and you just probably just sprouted and your body just stretched.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You just get what you get, right? We can't
Yeah.
fix that. Okay, so what do? You focus on basic science of it all. As long as there are no underlying health or hormonal issues, no medication that could be a contributing factor, no thyroid issue, anything like that, there is only one way to lose weight. And people will argue this, especially online, all the time. But there is literally one way. It's calories in versus calories out. That's the only way. So you can find a calculator online that will give you your daily calorie allowance, and it's based on your height, weight, age, gender, and how much you move throughout the day. So let's say the calculator says that your maintenance allowance is 1,800 calories a day. So to lose 1 to 3 pounds a week, which is the healthy amount, you need a deficit of 300 to 500 calories. So then you need to consume no more than 1,300 to 1,500 calories a day. A lot of people will go, oh, this is way too low. No. Whatever the calculator works out for you. So for my daily calorie allowance, because I am 5 foot, 120 pounds, I'm allowed 1,200 calories a day. That's it. But that's to maintain my weight now without me exercising or anything. So that's not a lot of calories, but I'm not very big. So there's not room for all the calories, right? And so many people will argue that that is not enough calories to survive. It is.
It is. It absolutely is. And I'm
yeah.
a firm believer that we don't need as much as we eat.
Oh, 100%.
Right? I think we're just like, we're in a society of you need to eat, 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 eat. But
Yeah.
our bodies don't need that much food.
No, not at all. You're
we
totally
don't
right.
need as much as we eat. So that's actually not a lot of calories. As long as you're getting your healthy foods in.
Yeah.
I mean,
because if you
right?
think of where the calories comes from food, for a lot of it, it's when it's highly processed. The higher processed the food is, the more calories they have, right? So if we go back to eating the basics, like, the things that we grow, the things that the animals, like that kind of stuff, those calories are low until you start adding all the seasoning and all the sauces and all the process. That's where it increases your calories. So as humans, we have learned to just eat more. And eating is such a social thing. So it's become like every time you get together with friends, you go for dinner or you go for dessert or you do appetizers or everybody brings something. Like it's such a social thing. We just consume so many more than we need.
Yeah, we do.
You'll need to track your calories. Write down the calories for everything you put in your mouth. Everything. One more time. Everything you put in your mouth.
Everything other than water.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you can have as much water as you like. Feel free to drink and drink and
Water,
drink.
it's so good for you, and it
Yeah.
like cleans you out.
Yeah.
Right? It's very refreshing. Yeah.
Yeah. This is where most of us go wrong. The majority of us eat 2 to 3 times the required daily calories, which is a lot. And I'm not judging. I had Golden Grams for dinner. I do this all the time. And I'll go, I don't get why I'm not losing weight. I really didn't eat that much. And I probably didn't eat that much during the day, but the bag of candy I had was
Yeah.
absolutely more calories than required, right? So
Yeah.
so even when we're tracking our calories, we usually eat or drink more than we write down. So you literally have to measure everything. The best example for this is cereal. So we look on the box of cereal and it says 250 calories per serving. So we pour a bowl of cereal, add milk, and write down 250 calories, which is way under what we actually consumed. Most cereal calories are for 3/4 of a cup or 1 cup. So if you pour your bowl of cereal without doing the actual measurements, you're most likely eating 500 calories per bowl. Which, when I learned that, I was like, what the fuck? That's a lot. And I absolutely was, like our cereal bowls are way bigger than the amount of cereal that we actually are supposed to eat. So you fill up your cereal bowl and then you add your milk. You're way over, right? And so that
Yeah,
is,
and then you finish and you have leftover milk, so you have to add more cereal.
yeah, right? Or you're just like, I'm not full. But if you waited 5 minutes, you learn you are full. So we're consuming double the calories for most servings of many things. Every sauce you use. So think of like ketchup. I think it's like 100 I mean, don't quote me on this. This could be wrong, but it's something like 100 calories per 3/4 of a tablespoon. I eat way more than that amount of ketchup on one hot dog,
Yeah.
right? Like I just squirt it and like it's ridiculous. So that's where we go wrong. Every bite of your kid's cookie, every time you finish something off their plate, every time you order a salad for dinner, but then you eat someone else's fries, they seem minimal at the time, but when you add them all up, that's where it gets you. That's where you go way over, not necessarily just your daily calorie intake, but you can spread it out for your week as well. So you're allowed a certain amount a day, which totals a certain amount for the week. So what I do is I'll have a really good day, and so then I have those extra calories if I have a bad day the next day, which is fine as long as over the entire week you have kept within your calorie allowance.
Yeah.
It's okay to share them. It's best if you don't, but it won't hurt you if you do, as long as within the week you stay in your calorie balance.
That's called a cheat day.
It sure is.
I like Cheetos.
Me too.
I know my trainer had mentioned for me, because I like to overeat, that the first sigh that you do is actually your body telling you that you are full before it registers to your brain.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because then she said, usually if you notice the first sigh, if you wait just that couple, then you notice you're starting to get full.
Yeah.
She always told me to just go by that first sigh.
That's
And that's your
interesting.
body telling you that you're full before your brain tells you you're full.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting because
That is, yeah.
I don't do it now, but I did it back then when I was starting that, like, smaller plates and all that stuff, right? Because I can't count calories. I don't understand counting calories. I struggle.
Well, you can just download an app and take a picture of your food and it counts everything for you.
So I was talking to my friend
Exactly.
about that though, and my issue is like I'll use a smaller plate now than the big plate, right? Because they say
Yeah.
if you get a big plate, you put too much on it. But then I put too much on the small plate. So if you take a picture of it, how do they really know
Yeah.
what you like how much you have on there? It'd be like that box of cereal, right?
It really is the best way to go is to actually just like you can use like MyFitnessPal or something
Yes.
like that.
You
And
can
then
scan it. Yeah.
yeah, so then
Love
you
that
can put in what it is that you've eaten. But it really is best if you get a scale, like a kitchen scale, and you weigh and measure everything. Now, not everybody needs to be that specific. It depends on the amount of weight you want to lose. Like when you get down to like, I just need to lose these last 10 pounds, that type of thing, you absolutely need to be more specific then. Because unless you're doing like high amounts of working out, because it's going to be based on your calories at that point, right? So if you're not working out, it's all based on your calories. So then you do need to be more strict and more accurate with them.
Well, and like my spot to lose the weight is where it's all nutrition based, so I kind of have to learn how to count
Yeah.
these calories, but
And you can never, no matter how much we want to, we can't target an area on our body with weight loss with diet. It'll come off from wherever it comes off. For women, it's always your boobs and your butt. It comes off there first. Unfortunately, stomach last, but for whatever reason, it's the last place to go. But so you can't target it that way. You can target it a bit more with like as far as toning and stuff with weight training and such like that. But as far as diet goes, you can't spot target your weight loss with your diet.
well, and like my trainer has told me multiple times because I always do those 12-week challenges, how baby weight especially is even harder to lose than regular weight.
Why did they say that?
Just because of something that was in like something to do with the weight.
That's crazy. I
It's
don't believe that.
it
Yeah,
sticks.
I hate to say, but I'm like, why?
Yeah, it happened
That's
to me
fat.
twice. So I lost 60 pounds twice, and both times were after having kids. Now I have no more baby weight. This is all just me weight because I gained weight during COVID. So yeah, I don't know. I don't believe that. I found it
Mine was
easier
all
to lose
baby
weight
weight
after I had
'cause
babies.
mine's right after the kids. But then again, it could be also genetics, right? It could be
Oh,
that
yeah.
for us in our family, we just don't lose it as easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it comes down to too, like there is the whole it's kind of a newer idea as far as I know, it's the cortisol, right? So the more cortisol is the stress hormone that's released for in females, and the more stress you're under, the more you release that. So then the more the cortisol makes you hold on to fat or makes you gain fat or whatever it is that it does. So a lot of people are saying, well, don't work out, don't do too much cardio because it releases more cortisol because your body's under stress. Well, yes and no. If your body is already used to cardio, then you're not putting it under any more stress. And depending on the amount of cardio you're doing, like if you've never done cardio before and all of a sudden you're like, you jump into 30 minutes of running on the treadmill at a high incline or whatever, your body's gonna stress the fuck out because that's a lot of pressure to put on your body and a lot of stress to put on your body. So you will release more cortisol. But if you're used to working out and you're used to, and if you build it up slowly, like build up your incline, build up your speed, build up your mileage slowly, 10% every week kind of thing you increase, that's not adding stress to your body. So it all depends on how you release that stress and if you're releasing that stress. And because not everybody will. A lot of times people will, like, especially when I was marathon training, I would plateau with my weight and nothing is coming off. And I'm like, why am I not losing weight? Well, any weight, bitch, you're running 18 to 20 miles. You're eating like a motherfucker because you're hungry because you just ran 20 miles. That's why you're not losing weight. And you're not
Yeah.
supposed to, right? And you're gaining muscle and all that. So it really depends on, people are so quick right now to jump on, it's cortisol. It's cortisol. It's a stress hormone. It may or it may not be. It depends. You've got to really look at what you're doing and if it's actually causing stress.
It sounds overwhelming and exhausting, and it absolutely is. So much so that many give up or cheat and they say, well, I did the calorie deficit and it didn't work for me. But in truth, you didn't do it right. So try it again. This time, start by making small changes you can maintain. You don't need to do any of the fad diets. In fact, I strongly recommend against them. Keto, carnivore, clean eating, all those will give you initial results. However, they are not sustainable for most people. When they fail, you will gain more back than you started with. And they still will only work if you are in a calorie deficit. The only thing I will say you should change in your diet no matter what is to eat more protein. It will help with muscle gain and keep you fuller longer. Try cutting out soda, Starbucks, and fast food. Did you know that average Starbucks drink can range from 250 to 580 calories? A customized venti ice white chocolate mocha can have over 600 calories. Try to cut back on the amount of processed food you eat. Small changes can make a big difference, but instead of thinking, I can't drink the soda or Starbucks, think I'm choosing water instead, or Coke Zero, Bubble, or whatever zero sugar drink you like. You need to change how you look at eating better. You're not depriving yourself. You are making better choices. You can still have them once in a while, as long as you factor the calories into your daily calorie allowance. I also say you should do the 21 days, I think it is. It makes a habit.
Yeah.
Take
Yeah.
something, if one thing at a time. So cut out pop, for example, 21 days, make it a habit, and then just add something else.
Yeah. Did you know that if you have breakfast from McDonald's, it's 1,200 calories?
Yep.
That's my entire day's worth of calories just from having the pancakes and a bacon and egg McMuffin. So I just don't eat it anymore. Did I miss out on something? No.
No.
I couldn't care less. I stopped drinking pop years ago, and my trick then was so I had a can of Coke, and I ended up getting a stomach ache. Whether it was from the Coke, I don't know, but I got a wicked stomach ache. And so I made my brain make the connection that the Coke is what gave me the stomach ache. So now I just say I can't drink pop because it gives me a stomach ache. And I'm not gonna say I've never had it. I actually really like a fountain pop, but I fill the cup up with ice all the way to the top and then just add a little pop then. But even that, once in a blue moon. If I have 5 pops a year, that's it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. So I stopped drinking pop years ago. So I don't
Yeah.
drink pop. I don't drink juice. Like I'm straight water all the time.
Yeah.
My husband used to be addicted to Coke, and he stopped by drinking club soda with a lime wedge.
Nice.
And
Nice.
then he stopped drinking pop because he had to stop drinking pop. So, and that's how he stopped. But
Yeah.
club soda with a lime wedge is great. I love it.
Yeah,
It's
and
good.
that bubbly, people drink
Yeah.
that all the time because they're like, I crave the carbonation. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
there's other things that don't have the
Yeah.
amount of sugar in it. Like,
Yeah.
and it just the first time I saw the reel where there's something was wrong with their sink, so they poured a can of Coke down it and it like it basically like unclogged their sink. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
I've heard it'll clean your toilet too,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never tried it. I
And
don't
I've
quite
just
believe
like,
it.
well, I've poured out cans in my sink before and watched it clean all the shit off the like metal, the actual drain
Oh,
part,
so
and
it
it like
works.
yeah, it bubbles, and it's like
Huh.
I'm like, oh look at that, I don't have to clean my sink now because thanks to the can of Coke. But I'm like, my God, I am the first person to say I absolutely love candy. So I am not like that's poison for my body. Nuh-uh, I am not that person. But when you see what it does to your pipes, putting it in your body feels a little not okay. Like, just think of what's that doing to your teeth. Oh,
Right?
yeah, there's all these reels. You can like dissolve stuff like metal things. You put it in cans of Coke and it disappears. That can't be good for you. It just cannot be.
It can't be, but it's so good sometimes.
Right? I mean, I get it. I totally get that. But I just, if you can put that mindset in, like just trick yourself, right? Like
Yeah.
whatever it takes for you to not consume it, especially things that you can get rid of, right? I mean, I will always drink tea to the day I die. And in my tea, I put creamer and I put sugar. And when I was diagnosed as pre-diabetic, my doctor was like, you got to get rid of that. I'm like, you can take anything else away except that. And he's like, well, just don't put sugar in your tea. I'm like, again, anything else except that. That is, I will drink, if it kills me, I will still drink it. That's my one thing that I'm like, I absolutely love it. You can't take it away. And I did for the longest time. I stopped eating candy and stuff, and I was doing really good. And then I was like, oh, look at my levels are great. I'm cured. And then my dumbass started eating the shit again. I was like, I'm all cured. Good to go. But it's okay to have that one thing, but it's better if that one thing is not pop. It just really is.
Even juice
Juice,
is
yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
It's so high in sugar.
If
but-
you don't need it, like other than to mix it with alcohol, then you just don't need it.
That's the only time you actually need it.
Right?
Same with 7-Up. That's the
Yeah.
only time.
Yeah. Oh, Sourpuss and 7-Up. It tastes like liquid candy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's my favorite. This is why I'm pre-diabetic, but I love it so much. It's so good.
Yeah, it is so good. But
Back
I'm
to
gonna
our
be the buzzkill over here. Drink more water.
Yeah.
You should be drinking a minimum of half your body weight in ounces a day. Every cup of caffeinated drink you consume, you need to add 1 more cup every time you want a snack. Drink some water first. Every meal, drink water during. This helps to prevent overeating. Your daily calorie allowance is based on the amount you move during the day. So in theory, you can lose weight without exercising. However, exercising is important for more than just weight loss. It helps with keeping you physically healthy. Being thin doesn't necessarily equal being healthy. It has so many benefits for you physically and mentally. Not to mention, it will help ensure you are in a calories deficit.
Yeah. Honestly, when I haven't run for more than a couple of days, I'm a psychopath. I get crazy and I need that release. Like whatever it does for my brain, it helps so much. And if I'm stressed or if I'm anxious or if I'm feeling ragey, I don't know what that technical term is, but if I'm just feeling ragey, I'm like, leave me alone. I'm going on my treadmill and I will run like a motherfucker. And I'm just like, something's chasing me, man. I gotta run this off. And then after, I'm like, I'm so happy. Yeah, it helps with mental health so much.
I'm the same with the gym. Like I missed last week because of my knee, and I was like, I gotta go back. I gotta go back. I need to go back.
Yep. Yeah, when I injured my knee in January, the physiotherapist is like, absolutely no running. And I'm like, oh, how are we going to do that? And he's like, well, you can't walk. So if you can't walk, you can't run. And I'm like, oh my, oh, what? I'm like, can I like with the knee brace on, can I try? He's like, no, absolutely not. You just cannot. He's like, you'll never run again if you keep up with this. Like, we need it to heal. So I'm like, okay. He's like, try Pilates. He's like, it's great for stress relief. It is not. It is not the same at all. I'm like laying there and I'm trying to do like this stuff and I'm like, I fucking hate this. It's terrible. This is so bad. But I did not run because I'm like, no, I am not risking it. It is, yeah, it's not the same. I mean, I'm sure I've actually just ordered myself a Pilates set because I want to do more toning and stuff. But I tell you, when you need to run, Pilates is not the same. Okay, so the number one argument when it comes to exercise is weights over cardio, which helps you lose weight. Cash, what would your trainer tell you?
Both.
Okay, good. Because
Oh, no,
I love it when a trainer is like, no, it's weights. I'm like, well,
No.
you suck.
And she actually puts cardio in with her workouts.
Good.
So it's never just like weights, even though sometimes like we'll focus on just weights, but
Yeah.
like she always adds in some sort of cardio in there. I just personally hate cardio.
And I hate weight training.
I love
And
weight
I
training.
hate them both.
See, they get one of everything. So you're absolutely right. The answer is both. So you burn significantly more calories during cardio than you do weight training. So I can run for like say an hour and burn like 1,400 calories. I could do weight training for an hour and burn maybe 300, 400 calories. So the calorie burning is what makes the cardio do better for weight loss than weights. However, this is where it becomes both. So the more muscle you have, the more calories you burn just by existing. So if you have a better muscle mass, you'll burn more calories in cardio than someone who has no muscle mass or like a very low muscle mass, right? So, and if you have a really high muscle mass, you'll burn 3-4 times as many calories just sleeping as the average person will. So that's where the weight training is just as important because you want that muscle mass. You don't really build a lot of muscle mass during cardio. You'll build some, but not very much. So before you say, I'm too busy, I don't have any time to exercise, you do. Everybody does. You just have to make it a priority. I get some people are extremely busy and they feel like they're on their feet from morning to night, but there's always something.
Me, I swear to God, I'm on my feet from morning to night. I'm nonstop.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard.
It is. And it's not necessarily that you don't have the time. You just maybe don't have the energy at the end of the day. When you do have the time, the energy's gone, right?
Literally do not have the time, Joanne. Literally, I am up. I start work at 6 a.m. I'm up at 5:30 and I go all day until 6 p.m. And then I take my daughter to hockey.
Right? So, which is totally, that's what a lot of people have going
Yeah.
on. So that's when you sometimes just need to get a bit more creative. And if exercising is not your priority, no matter what anyone tells you, you won't make it your priority. If you don't
Yeah,
care,
I know.
you just won't. And
Yeah.
but that's okay. At some point when the change, when you're ready to make those changes, if
Yeah.
you ever are, and it's not for everybody. This is not me telling everyone they need to lose weight and get in shape. Absolutely, like, of course not. That's
My doctor told me even a 10-minute walk.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's all
exactly.
you need.
Yeah.
She's like, even a 10-minute walk, right?
Exactly. And even the
Yeah.
amount of steps that you have throughout the day, like
Yeah.
there's that magical number people say, and it's 10,000 steps a day, which is fantastic. That's a lot of moving, and that will help
Yeah.
as well. And you can do, because working out doesn't have to be like you go to
See,
the gym or you're,
I'm way over 10,000. I'm closer to 20,000 a day.
yeah, so you're
Always
exactly.
on my feet.
So you're
I don't
doing,
even make 10, so
Okay.
I will fluctuate. So there's been times that, and I won't even hit 3,000 steps that day. Drives me crazy because I average between 20 to 30,000 steps a day. And when I'm like training for like a half or a marathon or whatever, it can be 40, 50,000 steps a day depending on my training. And I'm happiest then, but I'm getting old. And my body is not as happy then. So I have to make sure that I remember to do rest days. Rest days for me, when I'm in training mode, rest days are torture. And prior to the marathon or the race or whatever it is that I'm doing, you're supposed to take the week prior, and you're not supposed to run any more than like 2 miles 3 days that week. That is the absolute worst week. And my body goes, oh my God, we're so sick. We're so sick. We're not running. We're so sick. And I feel like shit that whole week. And then I do my run and I'm great because my body's rested, but it also thinks it's sick. So then I take like emergencies so that it doesn't actually get sick because it feels like it is, whatever. And so then I do the race and then I'm like, okay, now I'm ready to rest. And my body's like, bitch, get up. It's time to go. We're running again. I'm like, I'm tired now. So it's exercise doesn't necessarily have to mean that. It means like you said, Sophia, you're averaging 20,000 steps a day. You're exercising, right? And you can get creative if you want to do some light weights or toning and stuff. My kids find it hilarious. So I will be making lunch and then I start doing squats. Or I'm like serving and I'm doing lunges as I'm like walking from like the counter to the kids and they're like, what is going on? But I'm like, you get creative. And weight training, I hate it so much. It is so boring, but my body needs to, otherwise it can't keep running. So that's how I do it. I try and get creative that way. And I lift the babies and then I'm like up and down, up and down. And they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, you're my little weight right now. Hang on. Right? So it's all about getting creative and stuff. And you can do yoga. The kids love to do yoga, even though they're like, I can do this. I'm like, well, that's not really a yoga move, but that's okay. That's good. I'm like, I'm trying to do my yoga moves and they're like, look at me do this. I'm like, I can't. Whatever. But you've just got to, when you're brushing your teeth. So I used to do wall sits. And so I have my electric toothbrush going. And so I had to do my wall sit the entire time. By the time I'm finishing up, my whole body's like shaking because I'm trying to hold this like wall sit. And then I'm like, okay, time for bed. So it's all about getting creative with what you're doing with your time, right? So you can split it up through the day also. I tend to do this with weights because I get annoyed. So I'll do like some bicep curls and then I'll do some like straight arm raises and stuff like that. And I'll just randomly drop and start doing push-ups and it splits it up. It makes it not so monotonous for people like me that think it's torture. You may have to get creative, but you will notice results the more that you do it. And then when I worked as a fitness trainer, the number one thing that women would complain about was their stomach all the time. They wanted it to be flat, whether it was flat before baby or not. Gaining a flat stomach will rely highly on genetics, the elasticity of your skin. And for some women, unfortunately, they will never get that flat stomach again, like myself, without surgery. The loose skin doesn't always tighten back up. And for those of us that delivered via C-section, your muscles may not seize back together after surgery, which is what mine did. Instead of being like connected like this, they were like inches apart and they never went back together. And that can only be repaired during surgery, unfortunately.
Let's talk about the result. How many times have you done great on your diet, then weighed yourself at the end of the week and you gained 5 pounds? If you have stayed in a calorie deficit, that 5 pounds is water weight. You will retain water on and off while your body adjusts. What about when you have told someone that you have been working out like crazy and you gain 5 to 10 pounds and they tell you it's probably muscle? It's not. Again, it's water. It takes between 6 to 8 weeks to get any muscle gain, but 18 to 24 months for you to build enough muscle that it will affect the numbers on the scale. Muscle does not weigh more than fat. A pound of muscle weighs the same as a pound of fat. The difference is that the muscle is denser and takes up less space than fat. Because of this difference in density, a person with more muscle and less fat may have the same weight as a person with less muscle and more fat, but will appear leaner and more toned.
That is absolutely the thing that drives me batshit crazy. As soon as you're like, oh, I've been working out, but I've gained weight, and everyone's like, oh, good for you, you gained muscle. No, you didn't. Like, and I don't mean that to be discouraging, but you just didn't. It takes so long. Like it said, 6 to 8 weeks. And that's if you have done heavy weight consistently, and I'm talking 3 to 5 times a week. It takes so long for muscle gain to show up on the scale, and even longer for it to show up for most people. Some people, I've been blessed with this thing where I can like do weights for a little bit and then I get a bicep and I'm like, ooh, check it out. And I feel so good. But that doesn't affect the weight on the scale. Like it just doesn't. It takes a long time. So people get really, that is the one thing that drives me crazy. And starvation mode. Oh my God. Starvation mode is a myth. It doesn't happen. Your body does not hold on to it. It doesn't. I'm sorry. If you eat too little calories per day, you're just going to lose more weight. It just happens that way. It's starvation mode is a myth. Sorry. And I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for that, but it just really is. And it does not matter what time of day you eat, your body cannot tell time. As long as you are in your calorie allowance for the day, you can eat it all right before you go to bed. You might feel like shit. You're not going to sleep very good because you're full. You'll probably get heartburn, but it won't change what you've done at all. And even people that do the fasting and stuff like that, you can fast all day. You can not eat all day, but if the next day you eat 5,000 calories, you ain't losing weight. You're just not. So it's all calories in, calories out. Doesn't matter what you eat. Doesn't matter when you eat. Facts, people. It's facts.
Facts on facts, bro.
Right?
So what results should you expect? 1 to 3 pounds a week of weight loss? It may be more initially, sometimes quite a bit more due to water weight. Pay more attention to how your clothes fit versus the number on the scale. But more importantly, how do you feel? Instead of thinking in terms of trying to lose weight, think trying to get healthy or trying to get into good physical shape. Instead of dieting, think of it as healthy lifestyle choices. As women, we are our own biggest critiques. We judge ourselves too harshly. We constantly look at the parts we don't like, but do we ever stop to think about the parts we do like?
Right? Because we don't. We totally don't. We expect quick, instant results, and when it doesn't happen, we blame ourselves and then we get sad, and then we're like, fuck it, I'm just gonna eat because it doesn't matter anyway. I mean, I do.
We're very hard on ourselves.
We are. And it's so hard to look at our body and go, okay, well, I don't like that. But it's hard to like say, wait, I do like this, or I do like this. This is my favorite part of my body. Like, if you ask most women, they're not going to have an answer to that. They'll
like
tell
my
you
toes. That's about it. No. I have nice fingers.
But I would say, like, what about saying, instead of it being like, oh, I like this or I like that, what about, I like that my body can do this? Or I like that my body does this. Like, you spend all day on your feet. Do you like that your body can do that?
My body can barely do that.
But it does it.
It does
But
it,
it does
I'm
it.
so tired. It does it. Yes, I'm happy that my body is capable of walking and being on my
Exactly.
feet and getting my job done,
Yeah.
right?
So we got to think of
Yeah.
things like that versus like if I said to you, tell me what about my body you don't like.
Your body?
Yeah,
I like everything about your body.
exactly.
I think
So
you're
why can't you say that
fine
about your body,
because my
right?
body's not your body.
But it's like that's what I mean. Like we're so easy to say to other
I
people
know.
the things that we love them about them or
Yeah.
and compliment them,
Yeah.
but we struggle to do it to ourselves.
Yeah.
I am very critical about my body. I have what I think my body looks like is probably not actually what it looks like, but I will say the one thing I love about my body is it ran a marathon. It didn't do
Yeah.
it fast, but it did it.
It did it. Yeah.
And there was something about doing that that shifted my mindset. I was like, damn, you might not always look pretty. You fucking ran a
Yeah.
marathon. That's huge,
Yeah.
right? So then I started to think of other things like because I'm like, oh, I can't believe my stomach looks like that in that shirt. But I'm like, bitch, your stomach held two babies. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it did. Like you start thinking once you start thinking about it differently, instead of just like whether it looks pretty versus what someone else's looks like, you got to think of it, what can it do? And you just get this whole other perception of it. We got to stop being so harsh on ourselves, man.
Yeah. I
So,
agree.
so it's important to be realistic. Everyone has a different shape, bone structure, genetics, and so on. So when you're setting goals, make sure to consider whether the image you have for yourself is actually obtainable. So I know the ideal image I have for myself is absolutely not obtainable anymore due to the fact that I have to work. That really cuts into my workout time. I can't spend the whole day running or training, so it's just not going to happen. My knees have been injured too many times, so the most recent in January with a fractured kneecap, so they will not allow me to put the miles in required to get that ideal image. And to top it off, the extreme sweet tooth has finally caught up to me, and now I struggle with being pre-diabetic, so I'm trying to adjust my goals. So it can be difficult, absolutely. The ideal image that I have for myself, this like I'm basically an Olympic runner. That's what I wanted my body to look like. It's just not going to happen. It won't. Not without me quitting my job, getting new knees, maybe having some more surgery. Like it's just not realistic.
But like being realistic, it could be just having a shirt that's one size smaller and fitting
Exactly.
back.
Yeah, yeah, we have to stop setting these like super far like goals for ourselves that are just not realistic and obtainable. Start small, right? Like I want to lose 2 pounds. Then when you hit that goal, you're happier and you're more excited, and then you're like, okay, now I'm going to lose another 2 pounds, or I want to be able to lift this much weight. I decided I was going to work on the weight training, and I was like, this is it. That's what I'm going to do. And I want to be able to lift 25 pounds each arm. And I went out and I bought my 25-pound barbells, and I was like, here I go. I can lift those fuckers off the floor. I'm like, what am I doing? Like, that's just not realistic for me. The most weight I had been lifting was 10 pounds. So my dumbass decided we're going to jump from 10 pounds all the way to 25 pounds. And that's okay. It isn't. You need to go from 10 pounds to 15 pounds, then
Yeah.
maybe to 20. So you have to be realistic. And I get it. It's so difficult, but you really have to think about what you can accomplish and start slow and build those up,
It took me 2 years to get to 25 pounds.
right? And I figured, I got this. I did not. Like, so we used to have like the full weight, like workout cage and everything with the barbell, right? And I was like, I'm in great shape. I'm gonna be able to lift this, no big deal. Well, I could lift the bar. That was it. Just the freaking bar. I was like, what the hell? And I'm like, why is it so heavy? And my husband's like, it's a 45-pound bar. I'm like, why would we have got a 45-pound bar? And they're like, well, that's what we needed. I'm like, okay, but I can't. And so I worked for about a year, and then I was able to put two 10-pound weights on each side. Or sorry, one 10-pound weight on each side. And I was like, look at me go. And I thought I had done amazing. But a year of lifting that stupid bar by itself. Like, it's just the amount of time and consistent effort you have to put into it to see. I think that's why I struggle with weight training so much. Running, it didn't take me that long to get to 20 miles. Like, or
And
even
it
to
took me
increase my
forever
speed.
over here.
Right. And everyone's got their, that's what you have to think of too. Like, what do you enjoy doing? What is it that what gets you excited? Because if you're like, oh, I have to go to the gym again today, you're not going to keep going. You won't. So you've got to find the thing that you like and whatever motivates you. I'm very competitive. So we got our gym equipment when in like 2020, like when the pandemic started, right? And I was like, I'm gonna do this. My thing, I had seen somewhere that like it was a big deal to do under a 10-minute mile. And I was like, that's my goal. I'm gonna do it. So my husband's first run on the treadmill, he hit under 10 minutes for his mile. And I was like, what the fuck? I was still at a 13-minute mile and I was pissed. I was like, I've been running longer. I work out all the time. What is going on here? Well, he's a whole foot taller than I am, and he's a man. So
Mhm.
he has not only a bigger stride, but he's got a bigger muscle mass. And so he's just obviously can run faster than me because he's a man. And as much as like he was trying to explain this to me, and I'm like, fuck you, anything guys can do, girls can do, blah, blah, blah. No, that's not true. That's not true at all. There is men are built different. They are faster, they are stronger. There's men that I can run faster than absolutely, but if a guy and myself trained the exact same way, he will always be faster. Always.
Yeah.
So it's you've got to be realistic. It took me a while and I got mine down to an 8-minute mile. It took me 2 years of high intense training. And I got it down, but then I still ran my marathon at 5.5 hours. So that's not at all an 8-minute mile because it's easy to do one 8-minute mile, but it is not easy to do 26.2 8-minute miles. That's very hard. So keeping your expectations with your results is key. I went way off on a tangent there. I'm like, what were we talking about? Sorry.
We all worry about how we look sometimes, but there is a big difference between worrying about losing a bit of weight and having body dysmorphia disorder, BDD. So it is important to know the difference between the two. Worrying about weight can be a symptom of body dysmorphic disorder, BDD, but it doesn't automatically mean you have it. BDD is a mental health condition where a person is preoccupied with a perceived flaw in their appearance that is either imagined or minor but causes significant distress and impaired in their daily life. If weight is a specific concern and is accompanied by intrusive thoughts, constant anxiety, the use of rituals like excessive weighing or mirror checking, or avoidance of social situations due to the worry, it may indicate BDD. However, if the weight concern is a primary symptom of another condition, such as an eating disorder, it is not considered BDD.
Hey, so I will say on that. So when you mentioned that we should add something about this into here, I was like, yes, absolutely, because I totally think that that's what I have because I literally weigh myself every single day. Like I get up, I do my morning pee, I get on the scale every single day. I have for years now. And I'm like, and I think that I'm bigger and stuff, and I'm like, that's definitely what this is. However, after doing more research, I don't think that it is what I have. I think mine is part of my OCD. So I just obsess over it because like it doesn't stop me from social situations. I definitely like don't check the mirror or and stuff like that. So I think it's important for people to know if it's body dysmorphia or if it's something else for sure. Because I think too often we can say, oh, I don't like my body. I think it's that. Just like when people say, oh, I have to have my house clean. So therefore I have OCD. Well, that's not the same, right? So I think it's definitely important to make sure that you know the difference between the two. Because I felt bad that I was like, yeah, I have that too. And then I learned, and I'm like, oh, no, I don't. I'm just a little nuts with the obsessive compulsive.
See, I avoid the mirror at all costs. If I could, I'd never own a mirror. I will never own a scale because I'll obsess over the scale. And I see something in the mirror that nobody else sees.
Yeah.
So, like, someone will see me, oh, you look very, very tiny. To me, I don't look very, very tiny. I look very, very big.
Yeah, and it's hard. I think we all think we look different than what we actually do, right? And it's hard to know whether it's because of having body dysmorphia or if it's just almost like a female thing, right? I feel there's so many women that do it that it's almost just part of our wiring or whatever, right? We just don't see ourselves. And some people see their self completely the opposite and not necessarily in a bad way. I see myself as a lot taller than I am. So we've been watching like TV shows and stuff. I'm like, oh, that girl's so little and cute. I'm like, look how much smaller she is than everybody else. And my son is like, Mom, she's probably taller than you. I'm like, no way. I'm like, she's little, she's itty bitty. Look how little she is. And then he will look it up, like look up the actress on like IMDb, and he'll be like, Mom, she's 5'3". I'm like, oh, she's 3 inches taller than me? What? So some of us think they have a way better situation going on than they actually do. But I think we all think it's different than what it is. It's good to know the difference because I think when it is truly body dysmorphia, then it's not a case of you need to lose weight or exercise. I think at that point you need to be talking to like a therapist or somebody because it could be more serious than just wanting to lose weight.
Mhm.
And just ask a doctor if you think it is too.
Yeah.
They'll tell you.
Yeah. I think he'll tell me I'm just unrealistic of how short I actually am.
I feel like a tree. Like I look in the gym mirror some days and I'm like, my legs look like massive trunks and like I go out like this. I'm like, I hate it. I want to be cut off at the knees.
How tall are
Why?
you?
6 feet. But I have a very, very long inseam. I have a 37 inseam.
Oh, wow.
So I'm all legs.
But I
Yeah.
mean, if you like to say that you want to be cut off at the knees, bitch, you can't reach anything down here.
That's okay. I can climb.
Right? See, so we all have things that we want different. Although I definitely say if I had like a magic wand and could have, or like a genie, whatever, and I could change one thing about my body, my height would not even be a thing. I would change my hair. What?
What?
Yeah. I would not have this curly, weird hair.
Yeah.
Because I'd be like, no, I'll take a straight hair, please. The rest of my body, whatever. I can figure that out on my own. But the hair has to go.
I honestly, though, thinking about it, I don't really think I would change anything of my body. But that's because I'm learning to love it, right? Your body's
Exactly.
an amazing creature. So I don't think I would change anything.
That's awesome.
So the most important things to keep in mind are, why do you want to lose weight? You have to make sure you're doing it for you because you want to get in better shape, be healthier, or even because you want to feel better in your own skin. Trying to lose weight to make someone else happy will only cause resentment and ultimately unhappiness. Your children are watching you. You want to teach your kids about being healthy, having a healthy relationship with food, and exercising, but also to have self-confidence and that your self-worth does not rely on how thin you are. Life is short. Don't miss out on birthday cake.
1,000%. 1,000%. Like your kids are watching everything. Every move you make, every time you say, oh, I hate this part of me, or I hate whatever, or I wish I was that. Your kids are watching that. And especially if you have girls. I
Yeah.
think it's so important for them to see you can still diet, you can still exercise, you can teach them the importance of being healthy and stuff like that. You don't want to teach them that food is something they should be fearful of because you're going to put that on them and they're going to always think that. I remember my mom obsessing over what she ate or what her weight and stuff. But then she never really, like, she would try diets for like a day or two and then be like, oh, I didn't lose any weight. But I never saw her work out. I never saw her try other things. So I just remember it like having this negative opinion of food and eating, and like it just makes you so mad and makes you so upset all the time. Like, that's not something you want to teach your kids. It's okay for them to see you try and be healthier and stuff, but you don't want them to have that fear or that negative influence with food at all. They don't want to see you miss out. When it's their birthday and you say, oh, I can't have any cake because I'm dieting. The only thing they're going to remember is my mom never ate cake at my birthday. They're not going to remember you were dieting. They're not going to remember whether you were overweight or not. They're just going to remember mom never had cake at my birthday. And that's so sad. That's not what you want your kids to think of. Right. And your kids, and like, we never got to have ice cream, or we got ice cream, but mom didn't, or mom was always working out, or mom was all like, kids, what we think our kids remember is not what they actually remember. So just keep in mind, they're watching. Having confidence is beautiful, way more beautiful than having a skinny, perfect body. That confidence, that's what matters.
Yep.
And I'm sure we're going to get a lot of flack for some of the facts in here, but I'm sorry, man, they're facts. They just are. And you can ask any expert. Some are going to tell you one thing, others are going to tell you something different. Follow the science. And the science is calories in versus calories out. Sorry. Anyone else that thinks differently, you're wrong.
Oh my
God. Did I cut that out?
No, don't. You got to keep that in.
All right. Okay, so that's it for Moms on Mics this week.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Moms on Mics Podcast, on TikTok at Moms on Mics, and join our Facebook group, Moms on Mics.
If anyone has any topics you want us to cover, or if you have any questions or suggestions, you can email us at momsonmics@gmail.com or submit through our webpage, momsonmics.com.
We would also appreciate it if you could rate and review us on whatever platform you're listening on. It really helps the podcast move up on their charts so it gets more exposure. Hope you join us again next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.